Thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me today, Margaret. Please tell us your full name, where you were born and grew up, and a little bit about your family of origin.
Okay. I am Margaret Ann Carlberg, third generation Los Angelino, proud that my grandmother was born in Los Angeles, and my maternal grandmother. Her parents had come from England and were active in the beginning of Los Angeles, especially in the horticulture world. Paternal grandfather was from Holland, and I've always wanted to go to Holland, and we are going to Holland next April to see all the
Tulips.
tulips.
Do you have any siblings?
Yes, I have one sister, a couple of years younger, who lives in Northern California. We don't see each other often, but do get along.
Great.
My paternal grandparents were from Kentucky and then Colorado. And grandfather was a photographer that became a national treasure, actually, in Colorado for his photography of children. This was turn of the century. In fact, before that, 1870s. And
That's when photography was brand new.
Absolutely, absolutely. And he had state-of-the-art material, and actually my father's cousin carried on the tradition and died at age 99 about 6 years ago.
Oh, wow.
So photography was in their blood for sure.
Okay. What religion, if any, were you raised in?
My parents were active Christian Scientists, and so through college I attended the Sunday school and church there. And after I was married, have not actively been involved with religion, but the one thing that has carried me through the whole idea of the power of positive thinking, and a particular quote that when I have friends that are ill or I have a problem, is hold thoughts steadfastly to the enduring, the good, and the true, and you will bring these into your experience proportionately to their occupancy of your thoughts. So don't think negative thoughts, don't think you're going to get a cold, or you probably will. My husband and I differ in that respect. I grew up in Claremont. My father was a civil engineer, and my mother was a typing and secretarial teacher. And the school was absolutely excellent in Claremont. I loved school. I was active with Girl Scouts and had a lot of friends, and probably got my beginning of community service with just the normal activities of the Girl Scouts, the brownies, whose goal was to do good deeds without being seen, and that has indeed followed me all the way through.
Okay. Do you have any post-secondary education? Means college.
Yes.
What did you study and where?
My husband and I met at UCLA as chemistry majors when I was a junior. We were juniors, and we were working in the chemical prep room, in the stock room, and that, of course, helped both of us meet people who could help us with our assignments, and we both succeeded in passing most of the classes. My husband, I got my one and only D in physical chemistry. My husband flunked that class and switched to microbiology, and went on 3 years later getting a PhD in microbiology, and then teaching at Cal State Long Beach for 37 years. So.
Did you work outside the home?
Yes. Before we were married, I was, during the 3 years he was working on his PhD, I was in San Francisco working in biomedical and environmental chemistry, and didn't enjoy it as much, so I came back down south and got a teaching credential, and have enjoyed teaching chemistry for 40 years. And
where?
Burbank High School for 3 years, and then we moved down here and substituted as the chemistry and science sub in the Huntington Beach district, the 5 high schools here, for 10 years until there was a full-time opening in a private all-girls independent school in Anaheim, Cornelia Connolly High School. And I'm in my 32nd year there, but stopped teaching 11 years ago. I'm still involved with the gardens there, but I'll talk more about that later.
Okay. Great. And you have children?
Yes. Have 2 boys, one unmarried in Los Angeles, who's a very successful, very happy computer software engineer, and the other is married, lives with his wife and 2 college-age sons in Kentucky. So we don't get to see them too often, but we do keep in touch, and they are involved with their own volunteer activities in their own communities, having lived with us here, where that is a major part of our lives, and has been even when we were working full-time. That organization, the requirement is that you have graduated from an accredited college.
And that you be a woman.
Yes, but with the women's lib movement years later, there are some men that have become members, and I think Ralph may be one of them.
Okay. And what do they do? What's their raison d'etre?
They are involved with certainly promoting women's rights, women's activities, education, the community, and culture, I think, is the...
So do they try and encourage girls to go to school? Is that what they're largely working on?
One activity that is increasing these days is for encouraging, there's a group called Tech Trek that we support, where it's a matter of at-risk girls who have potential but are drifting a little, to help them realize that there are opportunities in many fields if they have a technical background. But at UW, for Charlene Bauer and me and a lot of others, when our kids were very young, and we may or may not be working, but it was a chance to be involved with the community, get to know people, get to help in ways that we could as new homeowners in a rapidly growing community.
Suburb.
Right. And there are study topics. In those days, there were study topics which were really very, very good. There are more social things going on now with the group. It's getting older. I'm not as actively involved. But the study groups of the human use of urban space studied Orange County land use.
Did they have a reason? Were they trying to provide that information to a particular governing body, or?
It was a matter of things that were going on in the community. We were taking an interest in it. The League of Women Voters that Shirley Detloff and Charlene were involved with had a county land use plan that they were studying. And with AUW, this was a couples group because we wanted our husbands to know what was going on in the community and to know what a group of educated women were doing in our night out, that it wasn't just social, that we were were really, became really movers and shakers. That group was led to people like Ralph Bauer being involved with the school board, and Shirley Detloff and others with the planning commission, and then city council. Ed Cairns with the planning commission, and it was a place where there were things that we knew could be done, that we could help the community be a better place for all of us to live.
Please tell us briefly about the American Chemical Society and your involvement in it.
Okay, we could continue about Bolsa Chica.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
Okay. The American Chemical Society is the largest scientific professional organization in the world, chartered by Congress no less in the late 1800s. And there are sections all over the country, there are 150,000 members, of professionals in all fields of chemistry, academia, research, environmental, etc., manufacturing certainly, where they promote the public understanding of chemistry. They have committees that help study local issues, and in particular, what I've been involved with is the high school and college programs for awards, for awarding students recognition for accomplishment in their chemistry work. And in the case of the high schools, it's a matter of developing competitive testing for about 300 students come from schools all over the county for a test that is prepared by a committee who feels that the topics that should be taught in a high school chemistry course are tested. So the students who may excel in their teacher's tests, they get to know the techniques and what the teacher wants. When they take a test that is designed by other teachers, and they can see how they rank above or below the county average. And the program is so neat because the top scoring student from every school is given a free dinner, and their teacher a free dinner, at a big banquet for 200 or 300 people in May, where there's a speaker on a topic of chemistry, and some ACS members that are there. The students get to talk with the professional chemists, with other strong science students in the county, and really get a feeling for what the world of science beyond their high school class is all about. I've been involved with that when I was in college at the University of Florida, and for a couple of years. And then when I went to UCLA, they had an active student affiliates group, and it was natural to be a part of that. In fact, that's where my husband and I did some active volunteering, if you will, but interacted with other college students. But it's with the ACS here, because I feel so strongly that it's an important program for students.
Why should a real estate broker or an accountant or a nurse or just someone who's not actively involved in a chemistry profession, a nurse is a little bit, but some more service type profession, why should they care about chemistry?
One of my favorite quotes in class, and when people ask that kind of a question, is, what in the world isn't chemistry? The world of cooking,
That's the new chic thing in cooking is using chemical processes to create new effects.
Well, and understanding the chemistry behind why you cook eggs at a certain temperature, why you can't soft boil an egg or hard boil an egg at a high altitude. So the students that I had in